Goddamn, I never thought I'd see the day where Twitch gets so woke they defend white people, but here we are. So Hasan has been banned from Twitch for using the term cracker, and it is 100% absolutely deserved. Because what the left doesn't seem to understand is that they will come for you. You reap what you sow, you've made your bed, now it's time to lie in it, because when everything becomes cancelable and offensive, then when you use, and like you're not allowed to use any kind of slurs or anything derogatory, well of course, when you use a derogatory term towards people you don't like, that can put you on the chopping block, and Twitch has decided cracker is no longer acceptable because we've been losing more and more words and more things you can and can't say. Things have gotten so deranged on Twitch that simps have become a protected class. You cannot call someone a simp or else you're at risk of getting banned. So, if we're, like, this is what the left wanted. The left wanted it to where no one can ever be insulted ever, depending on their identity or beliefs. So, if you use an anti-white term like cracker, yeah, that's completely in line with what's been happening. But the problem is, a lot of people just believe that you can't be racist towards white people, and then that allows the use of derogatory terms towards white people to kind of flourish to where Hasan has been using it, and has finally been banned. So, things have gotten just... yeah, the oppression Olympics has hit a new low, and free speech is dead online. Like, I don't like that part of it, but hey, if you can't say anything, then yeah, get banned for what you've created. And it adds another layer when you remember that Hasan said America deserved 9/11. So we go back to this, like, we totally brought it upon ourselves, we totally did. Look at this way, this idiot's running his mouth, justifying genocide right now. Hasan said alluding to civilian casualties in the Middle East, and this was about Dan Crenshaw on the Joe Rogan podcast. Hasan hates white culture, which is in line of being like a Marxist or democratic socialist, whatever. He's trying to like look up what people have to say about his political points and stuff, and it's just one of those things where it's just vague left nothingness. And Hasan isn't apologetic about this. He's really upset. He's calling things cracker discourse now, talking about the rich environment for video when there's crackers on the timeline, making their cracker takes. So he has like started this cracker movement, anti-white sentiment, and now it goes against him. And then he also goes and retweets things like this. Cracker being a bannable offense is so hilariously deranged, just placating the most fragile man-children in the world who themselves know they're just feigning outrage over nothing. You mean, like the entire political discourse over the last couple of years. The true derangement are the people on the left that lack this much self-awareness. Like when the whole microaggression thing popped up and it's about the deep-seated racism in all white people or something, or just misgendering. When you create entire social movements to cancel the people you don't like for saying the things you don't like to hear, when it comes back onto you, that's just how the game works. That's just nature going through its course. And then people getting upset over it. And that's why I like this response. Why? If someone is saying it with ill intent, why shouldn't someone be offended? Are only certain people allowed to be hurt? That also kind of goes back into the whole you can't be racist towards white people narrative that has gotten a staggering amount of traction that many millions of people actually believe because they have just become so warped by this online culture and all this Twitter nonsense. Like, Twitter isn't real life, but when I see things like this, and the reason why I'm making this video is mostly the responses to Hasan. So I had to like kind of lay the groundwork, but then I see this, like Dream even got in to defend Hasan. Now we already know Dream is a complete fraud, lied about not cheating forever, and then it turned out he was cheating because everyone knew he was cheating. So Dream is just a bad dude. He's a complete fraud, but now he gets on this, tweeting a clip of him using cracker, but it's okay because he's white. And those are the rules that we have created, so that's how it goes. But yeah, then people kind of getting on this. C slur above R slur on the tier list now. Literally though, Twitch is insane. I'm guessing it is literal, because like that's what I've heard, and I've seen more people kind of get away with saying it. So everyone's gotten so offended over everything else, slipped under again. You can't just like straight up use it in anger, or use it as like a hard target attack, because that could still be like bullying or something. You can't use it in a bullying way. Good to know. As I mean, like, these are things that people are getting upset about. Like, they're calling Twitch insane. They are calling Twitch insane for enforcing the rules that society has been enforcing around them, but just against people they don't like. Or something. Go with Kraken next time, be safe. Like, these are the weird things. Like, when these are the jokes being made, like, again, when will the self-awareness finally tick over? bruh, something, genuinely upset about this is the stupidest thing for Twitch to ban over? No, 100% deserved, because this is how it is. Twitch being this consistent on their TOS with one of the biggest streamers, especially something like this, is a good thing. And yeah, like I said, there was like an anti-cracker movement that Hasan was creating, and I wanted to kind of see like what people are getting upset about. You're right, but it's pretty silly. Oh, hey, we are getting some awareness. Let's go. Rules shouldn't be case by case, whether anyone's offended. Unfortunately, these are people getting a handful of likes and replies and stuff compared to the tens of thousands that people getting upset about this are gaining traction, because that's just Twitter now. That is the life that these people have created, and without it, they are nothing. Without these numbers, without all of this blind support in their hateful, deranged world, they are nothing. So with all this going on, I also want to make sure I was kind of characterizing Hasan properly as I was going through this video, because you hear about him popping up saying stupid stuff from time to time, or just completely outrageous things. It kind of gives you an idea as to who he is and how the whole like democratic socialism movement has been going. But we have this article from .esports. Hasan rose to fame in 2016 after he caught support of Bernie Sanders voters during his presidential campaign, and this also kind of comes from his momentum being a Young Turks network host. So, like, again, also being part of the Young Turks and just kind of going crazier from there for, like, Twitch viewership. It's all a grift. And I think the grift was really shown when he bought a multi-million-dollar house. So, he wanted to redistribute the wealth towards him to live well above his needs. Champagne socialists are the worst, and that's what he is. Like, that's what all online leftists end up going into, where it's like you just kind of say the words to a large audience, get people riled up about completely deranged things, and just get them upset over it, like, oh man, these darn white people and minimum wages and capitalism bad, and whatever democratic socialist views there are. My take on democratic socialism is that it's the belief that it's everyone else's fault but yours as to why you are struggling in life, despite the countless people that have climbed and become successful regardless of their gender, race, or economic upbringing, or like economic class. So when you look at it like that, like, yeah, that's what made it super funny when people rightfully got upset at Hasan for taking all those donations and just like living well above his means, instead of trying to help the people that he's claiming to fight for, or all the political views that he's espousing. So yeah, like, you get the Bernie bros, and then you just go and make those mills, dude. We kind of saw this with Nico Lol and her simps. You just go, okay, boomer, because, again, now it's, like, becoming resentful of the people that came before you and their success, and then wearing the Bernie shirt, and somehow TikTok, which also isn't real life, and is becoming even more of a cesspool in Twitter and Reddit somehow. So yeah, like, all that stuff, and then you get the simps, and then they just fawn over it and throw money, and then, yeah, now you just get to retire off of being a democratic socialist, which sounds completely wrong. Hasan himself, through his actions, has proven why socialism will never work. It's kind of amazing. So, I was looking up on Reddit, like, this is the Destiny Reddit, which is also its own can of nonsense. He pretends to be a socialist as it's the most monetizable position. Exactly. You farm the idiots with that grift. Again, you just say the words and you make insane money. Nobody knows what he actually thinks because he doesn't practice any actual beliefs outside of frat boyism. I remember, and that's the thing, like, it is that frat boyism, because now he's like, oh man, America deserved 9/11. Just, again, saying the most deranged things that people have also just kind of like fallen into and whatnot, when it's like, yeah, just say something bad about white people, and then you'll get everyone riled up, and then follow it up with some kind of like Bernie nonsense or higher wages, and then everyone just starts losing their minds. So makes sense. I remember watching a stream where once he reviewed and explained the specific socialist labels like Marxist, Leninist, Democratic Socialist. When fans asked him what he was, he just called himself a Marxist, which was the most vague stuff ever. He and Vosh have both worked backwards from having no ideology and then just saying whatever felt right. Hasan's fans never held him to such a high standard, so he hasn't been able to hold any firm beliefs. Exactly, and I would never expect any standards from a democratic socialist. Unfortunately, we just let too many identity politic extremists into our institutions and government where now we can't even haul these people away like we did with the Red Scare. Like, anti-American sentiment should be met a lot more harshly than it is, but that's just me. And yeah, then I've also kind of like looked up some other things. What's your opinion on Hasan from the Socialism 101 Reddit? How can that even exist in America is what I'm just starting to think at this point. Like, yeah, again, how does that not get shut down? These people just hauled off, whatever. He's actually the one that radicalized me. He's a pretty popular streamer. I found him through other streamers. probably like Destiny or something. That's like, if Destiny and Hasan are radicalizing you, you just need to start over on life, my dude. I watch them as YouTube videos, I watch his Twitch streams sometimes daily. I was interested in leftist politics beforehand, but he def helped lead the path in this subreddit, for example, so I have a pretty positive opinion on him. I just can't see this. I hate the way he transmits constant aggression and profanity, insults and patronization. He is so obnoxious. He never swayed me to his side. He just seems so impolite and rude. And then, as a millennial the same age as Hasan, it's because we don't give a damn about being rude or impolite. It's so obvious the system is messed up, and it's obvious what the solutions are. It's actually not, and your solutions are the most deranged ideas out there that just will never work in an actual functioning society. Because again, socialism will never work. It's not, oh man, socialism hasn't been done right, bro. No, it will literally never work. It cannot work. Human nature is what defeats it outside of all the other issues with production and needing to sustain a society when you have people that don't want to work or are overly entitled about working. The people with actual power don't want to change it, and they have brainwashed a vast amount of people into not wanting change as well. It's frustrating, and yet you refuse to see what's right in front of your face because of the rudeness, and then you can screw off too. This is just left in its own. This guy's actually probably like a true level-headed socialist that has like some kind of ideas that maybe make more sense than you'd give him credit for on the surface. And then these are the democratic socialists. These are the Bernie bros. These are the new age Twitch streamer people that have gotten all worked up from a grifter like Hasan or a grifter like Destiny, and then just kind of like coming in and going all crazy off of the non-ideology. Their entitlement has made them hate everything and everyone to where they just can't live in reality anymore. They have fully committed to the Kool-Aid. So, there we go, guys. I think this actually went a little better than I thought. Like, after I kind of came up with my thoughts on what a democratic socialist actually is and kind of linking a couple of things together. So, when you look at this, like, you kind of have to know. I feel like at this point, though, it's kind of become impossible to bring someone that's, like, completely unaware of how awful things have gotten online and how deranged all of this leftist culture has become, where it sounds like a parody. It sounds like nonsense. It sounds like something that should be laughed out of existence, and that's why I thought back in 2013, 2014, and here it keeps on getting worse. And to a degree, this almost feels like a turning point, but as we saw, there's so much lacking of self-awareness, there's so much more removal of freedom of speech and stuff, and Twitch is now, like, again, they're getting so woke they're defending white people. I don't see this as a turning point. I don't see how this makes anything better. And it just kind of shows like things are getting worse and things are getting crazier than we ever expected. And it starts becoming impossible to anyone that hasn't already been following for a couple of years to understand what's going on here. Either way, hope you guys enjoy the video. I feel like I had a little fun with it. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.